Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Recently, I watched an interview on the Japanese Pivot channel with Toshihiro Nagahama and the chief economist at the Daiji Life Group. He mentioned the term new type inflation and I found it's very interesting. So, in this episode, I would like to share some of my thoughts with all you guys out there. Basically, Japan has officially left deflation. So by definition, inflation means prices have been falling for over 2 consecutive years. But in Japan, prices have been going up for quite some time now. So technically, we are in an inflationary environment. But here is the twist. Even though inflation is here, people are still behaving like it is a deflationary world. That's why Nagahama-san called this phenomenon new type inflation. Prices are rising, but consumer psychology hasn't caught up. As a foreigner living in Japan, I feel this shift quite clearly. For me, the biggest turning point was the Russia-Ukraine war. After that, energy prices in Japan just surged. And that's something I could literally see in my monthly electric and gas bills. At the time, I thought the price could drop once the situation calmed down. But here we are, years later, and energy prices have basically never returned to pre-war levels. The war triggered the worst global inflation in 40 years, and something like a second oil crisis. And for Japan, ironically, it was kind of a wake-up call. Deflation in Japan has always been about one thing: companies not being able to raise prices. For decades, Japan was stuck in the cycle of weak demand and too much labor supplies and stagnant wages. Businesses were terrified to raise prices or even pay employees more. But the cost of imports, especially food and energy, went up so much that companies has no other choice but to pass those costs on to consumers. And surprisingly, consumers accepted it. At the same time, Japan's labor market shifted from surplus to shortage, and companies now have to offer better compensation package to attract and keep talent. So structurally, Japan has moved into an inflationary phase. But, and this is a big but, the public mindset haven't changed because most people still act like we are living in deflation. This is especially unique to Japan. Other major economies hit 8 to 10% inflation after the war began. Japan, maybe 4% at most. But after 20 years of falling prices, the Japanese public have developed this deep-rooted habit. When prices go up, they just tighten their belts. For example, in the Tokyo area, housing prices have soared, and in most places, people rushed to buy when prices are going up. But in Japan, prices have climbed so much that people have simply stepped back. Home ownership isn't tied to social status or marriage the same way it is in some other countries. And renting is common here in this country, and the system protects renters reasonably well. And honestly, after living in Japan for a while, I've noticed the mindset affecting my behavior too. I catch myself thinking more about saving or spending less and being cautious. And even though inflation is still around me, it's like stepping out of a dark tunnel and when still squinting, and because your eyes haven't adjusted to the light. On top of that, and Japan's demographics are amplifying this mismatch. And 1/3 of households here are made up of retirees and living off pensions. And pensions are not keeping pace with inflation. In fact, because of how the system adjusts, their payout are shrinking, and with a declining birth rate, I honestly wonder if the pension system will even be around by the time I retire. So this new type inflation is not just an economic challenge, it's a psychological and social one too. and healing from those 2 decades of deflationary habits might be more harder than fixing the actual economy. What about you? If the prices keep rising, but wages stay the same, how would you cope? Would you keep spending to match your lifestyle, or just start saving even more aggressively? Let me know in the comments. Alright, that's all for this episode, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.